Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay! Welcome to FMLFPL Milan.
This one.
Another week in the books. COVID running rampant. Fixture pile up. Game week away. How are you feeling?
Great. Excited to pod.
Excited to pod. You're glowing.
Feeling good. How are you feeling?
T-shirt. You look amazing. I feel
Yeah,
good.
I've got a nice t-shirt. You know, everything's flowing. How are you?
Yeah. Good. I'll just start. I had 57 points. I got a little green arrow, 400k. Not
Little.
huge, but I'll take it.
Kim, see this? I have a bone to. You know, I need to follow up with this.
Okay, go.
Every weekend, you sit halfway through the games, telling me how fucked you are.
Yes.
And every weekend, I tell you, nope, you got this to go.
Well,
you got this. You got this. You got this. And every weekend, at the end of it, whatever I say to you comes in.
Well, last weekend I went down 600k, so
Yeah.
that was bad. I was actually
No, I know, but that was expected. Like, that wasn't very known. But when you're sitting here with like 20 points from your captain, you're like, I'm fucked. I only have players that everyone else has. It's like, dude, you're fine.
I don't know. I still just don't feel significant gains when I go up 400k, and I'm still.
That's a lot.
Is it when you're 2.3 mil?
Well, what if you're 2.9 mil and you go up 40k? How's that?
It's a lot. That's our week summed up right there. I mean, the bottom line is 2 out of the last 3 weeks, I mean, including this week, we both got greens. That's a miracle. That's unheard of.
I got more than the average this week.
And if you're beating the average, then this is just, we're buzzing.
This is my new mini game is team versus average, captain versus vice captain. I don't care about anything.
That's a
else.
great mini game. I think if you consistently win that, you'll do well in FPL.
Yeah,
so
2 for 2 this week.
Yeah.
2 points more than the average. Captain got 2 points. Vice captain 0 points. Pretty good.
Get fucked.
Pretty good. Get fucked.
Yeah, get fucked. I finished on 57. I did Kane to Bamford, which was a wash. Game week rank of 1.1 million, which reminded me that if your game week rank averages around 1 million every week, you're going to win the entire thing of FPL. So it's a good thing. Up 400k. I got 0 pointers, which is huge. This is the thing that I'm keeping track of every week. 0
please give
pointers.
Me your power.
3 1-pointers, 4 2-pointers. So that not great. But then I got 10 from Kev, 10 from Bruno, 10 from Jack. Triple 10 on the slot machine. Captain fucking Bruno. You know, it's good. A cheeky little Diash clean. I will never forget Kev price rising, taking me out of Balbs and into Kilman, who now is not nailed anymore, and disaster. That I will never forget that. It was a very tilting thing this weekend, but
Yep.
Overall, good week. How about you?
Okay. 46 for Team Walsh over here, you know. Yeah. Cap DCL. My captains this year is just, you know,
very comical.
Very bad. You know, keeping the 0, got some 0s and 1s. You know, it's all a fucking shit show over here, man.
Moderator Mo, net gain of 5.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
cool.
It's just a shit show. You know, I genuinely struggle each week to hit the average, and it's rough going for me this year.
Well, you had your 1 0-pointer with Taylor, keeping your streak of 4th straight game week with a 0-pointer in defense. 3 1-pointers, just like me. 2 2-pointers. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much how it's going for me this year.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't know. Rough. Yep. Let me update some leagues. So November's over. Shout out to the FML Field Prize League Mug League. 3 winners for November. First place, Jonathan Hanks, aka Bloke FC. Second place, Mark O'Neill, aka Soup or Salah. And third place, HJ Chin, aka Finding Timo.
Who's in 4th?
I don't know who's in fourth. Is it Ray?
Might be.
Oh, Etheridge Farm Mbembes. Sorry, Ray. He'll get him next time, bud. And then shout out to the leader of the FML Field Public League. It's still Wilkins at the wheel. He's up to 1568 OR. Killing it. Moving on. So, got a lot of questions this week. I think it'll probably guide the pod. And I think something that we both probably want to talk about is Man City / Raz. And you own Raz, and they scored 5 goals. And
do I?
Okay. Or do I? They scored 5 goals. We got questions on them. Jeff D, famous Raz owner in Discord, he said in past seasons, hasn't really worked out for me using moves to get the quote-unquote right City attackers. Do we just hold Raz for Fulham and hope? Is there anything you'd see midweek in UCL that would help decide one way or the other? Piles followed up with, what are we doing with Raz? Shipping, holding, or going balls deep and capping? I like that. And then LR was asking about Mahrez. He started 7 out of 8 last Prem games. Is he an option? And TJC, same question with Ferran Torres. Pep Roulette's inevitable, but he started more minutes over the past 4. He's got his first goal now. Or is Jota just a much better option at the same price? So,
well, you're not going to be able to catch the points if you don't chase them. So Mahrez, natural. You got to just...
I was very surprised to see that he started 7 of the last 8. Because he's been the worst player in the pitch for 6 out of the last 8.
Yeah, he's been a very high... If you're ranking the list of why Man City score 1 goal every game this year, he's been a very high number of on 1 or 2 or 3 there.
Yes.
The Raz, though, it's just enough, right? It's too much, I think. When he's priced at the price he is, and Pep said the thing, he's on the naughty step. He did something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that was very off-putting, more than usual. It wasn't a wrist.
Yeah.
It was something else.
Yeah, I don't know if he's looking for a move or what that means. Don't know. Because he wore the captaincy armband midweek and was one of the best players on the pitch.
In UCL, yeah.
So the fact that he just gets 18 minutes and then actual 0 in league games is not great. And he's a bad pick right now.
Yep.
He's just a bad pick. So I don't think.
But what about
holding
the second
makes a lot
half
of sense.
of Jeff's question? Because that is a little bit interesting. Obviously, home Fulham's a good fixture. And if there was a way we could be like Raz is for sure starting, we would keep Raz probably. But I personally don't think anything that happens in UCL will indicate
it doesn't matter
that, unless Pep comes out and says he looks great and he's got to start every game, or something that he wouldn't say. So I don't know. It feels so weird to get rid of Raz before home Fulham, away United, home West Brom, away Southampton, home Newcastle, etc. But
he's not playing. I don't know. What do you say about it?
Yeah.
He didn't play Spurs, played 70, got subbed off midweek, and then he just doesn't play. So what's happening? I don't know.
If you don't have Kev, you just go straight to Kev, right?
Yeah, you go to Kev. That's an easy move. But, we're also looking at the City things. They're talking about like the width, and everything's a little bit different with Raz providing the width on the left when Cancelo's in, because he kind of comes inside a little bit more on the right foot. When Mendy plays, I don't know. He's been playing the width differently, the last few games, depending on who's playing fullback.
And the UCL game, they played inverted, and Raz is on the right, so he's trying stuff clearly.
Yeah, he's trying. Yeah, he's trying different stuff, and Burnley didn't show up. So I, first of all, definitely am not City are back, 5-0 Burnley, they're back, not at all. That was that was a weird ass game to me.
Yeah, I agree.
They scored off a fucking throw-in. I mean, Burnley just laid down, or bent over, I should say.
Volley,
1 in a million from him.
Yeah.
They had 1 or 2 of the goals were well taken and created or whatever, but in general, they weren't just titting. It wasn't a 5-0,
Yeah. I agree with you.
And Kevin's good, but the thing more is just the defense just continues to teams can't get a glove on. And he's playing fucking Rodri, Gundo, Kev against Burnley at home. He's not he's not jamming attackers. And so this is more to the point to me than how can we get as many attackers in as possible that get defenders more so. Like the defenders look good to me. Right. And Kevin, Kevin, he did the things and that was fine. He got a couple assists and that's a nice thing. But the defenders look better to me than the midfielders. Like I don't want to play any of the games with the Foden, Varane. Like they're all more expensive than the defenders and they look like cleaning every game.
Right. Yeah. I like the defenders a lot too.
Jesus a bit interesting though because Kuhn looks like something's going on. I don't know. He didn't travel again with them to the midweek thing.
I'm worried, obviously, about Kuhn in both senses. Like, is he ever going to play again? And the other side of it is like, he's just going to come in and start one of these games without any warning. It's not like Pep's going to tell us, like, he's back and he's coming straight in. So I'd be worried on both sides of that with Jesus. But
I think Jesus is a good pick, though. Honestly, like, I'm obviously that's more of like a passing concern to me, though, because he's telling us that he's not in his best fitness and he needs to build it, and he subs on for 10 minutes and then he's not on the bench for a game and then he's not on the traveling squad. Like he's not.
Yeah. I mean, he might legitimately like never really suit up again. Like this happens to athletes sometimes. They get old, they get the most serious injury of their career. They don't really come back, so
it's possible. So Jesus to me is an interesting one here. And you still have then the other concern too, though, because he's playing a lot, especially if he plays midweek, right? Jesus will have played started every game since internationals. Is that going to be, he goes and jams Raz in the middle or whatever? Like he's going to give or Torres, I don't know. He could do anything.
The good thing is they're 4 from 4 in UCL, so maybe doesn't need him, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
the traveling squad was pretty strong.
Liam Delop gets a go or something. But.
Yeah, he's not in the city. He's not in the team until
any thoughts
January
on Farron? I mean, he's also started.
He's just not good enough to me. I mean, you're paying a price at $7 million that you see a lot of other good options in the game, right? So why are you risking it for someone who's rotation risk? Not prolific very much.
Not prolific.
He scores. Yeah, he scores when the ball comes to his he's good. Hat trick against Germany, fine. He's a good player. He's young, but at that price, you like Jota, you're going to take him over like Jota, like that's insane, know.
Like you said, he's young, but last year was his career year, and he had 4 goals, 5 assists.
Yeah, so
you can't really do that. All right, that's City.
The defense just keeps doing it.
Well, yeah, so we should actually talk about that because Cancelo, extremely popular pick, now back-to-back didn't play, right? So does that
and that's the thing,
elevate Diaz to number 1 now? Number 1 guy?
I still think Walker's a little bit better. I mean, Walker's playing really well.
Is he worth 0.6 more?
No, but I mean, no. I think, but it depends on the team, right? If you have the money to go Walker, then I think that's worth it because he's playing really every game. He's been playing pretty well, He's looked good.
He's the king of everything. He's maximum everything, maximal energy. 211 on tackles, on running in straight lines, on crosses, on headers. It's just everything.
He looks like it seems like he's being relied on a lot more. Like he's not there. Remember, the last few years, there's so many games where he just doesn't cross the halfway line. This year he's playing like the extra center back, right? When they would push up.
Yeah.
And he's not doing that at all. Like I think Pep right now is looking at the team and saying Mahrez can't beat anyone, right? He just checks back on the left foot over there and then either gets his cross blocked or whatever, a bar this week. But like Walker's driving down the byline a lot. He's overlapping. He's getting up there a lot when I watch when I'm watching them play. And it's more, he's getting forward a lot more than I remember him getting forward in games in years past. As he's trying to figure out this balance of where is he going to get the width from and where the goal's going to come from. So I still like Walker there, but I definitely, obviously, with Cancelo not starting a couple, and Mendy didn't look great last game, the league game, but he was better in Champions League. he's an issue for Cancelo, obviously, because Mendy's more natural to provide width, so he can put the winger or whoever the actual attacker is inside. With Cancelo, like, he doesn't do the same things. He can't go outside like Mendy can and put crosses in and shit like that. So seems like it's Diaz and Walker, and now Laporte. I don't know. He hasn't said anything about Laporte, right? He wasn't in the squad.
I think he said that he was managing his minutes, same as
managing
like Matip. Yeah, but
that doesn't smell good.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's just Diaz and Walker, and that's it.
And Ederson, I guess, but like,
want that. But come on,
yeah. Walker.
Do you see it differently at all?
Also, Diaz, by the way, like, he's gonna get a goal soon.
Yeah, he should. The thing with them that's so weird though is they don't have numbers. Like when they have these set pieces, it's like 3 guys.
Yeah.
But they're always open.
Conservative City. I don't know. We're still adjusting to Conservative City because, like you said, it used to be there always was 3 basically defenders. Kyle being one of the 3 sort of half center backs, half full backs. Then there would be Dino, who just covers literally everything.
Yeah.
And then they had a million attackers, and that was just how they go. And now it seems like there's 2 center backs, like 2 stationary defenders, and Rodri.
Yeah.
And then Gundo and Kev are working their ass off in the middle, and both fullbacks push up. So it's like a little different. It's a little less attackers, a little more conservative, but it's working, so.
Well, it worked once.
True. But City. Double. I mean, we had a question actually that was interesting. Where is it? Can I get a hell yeah? He said, would you go double Chelsea D or double City D?
City, no question. Not close.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because Chelsea play. Like, they play games. City are just shutting teams are not touching them. They're not getting touched. Yeah. Like the last 5-6 games I've watched them play, it's a joke. I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing at all. I feel like it's just, and that's what they're doing all year, right? With Chelsea, the personnel, and it's just always Chelsea are keeping their clean sheets against the good teams, and then against the bad teams, they're flowing, right? And then I'm still watching them like, well, they could just get hit on the counter in any of these minutes.
Right.
But they've got, their clean sheet numbers, I feel like, are almost flattering to deceive, where, we're seeing them like they did with Spurs and, they did with Man United, where they really just shut the game down and they didn't play. And, they got it again. Newcastle didn't turn up, and, Burnley, they're going to have a hard time. But when I watch Chelsea, I'm not like, this is a very sound defensive unit outfit team. Like, they have better individual players, but I don't think that they're at the same level of City at all, even though the points so far tell a different story.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I do think the last, they have 4 out of 5 cleans, last 5. And I do think that your analysis is basically correct. It's like that United game, neither team played.
Same with Spurs, both.
And Spurs game even more so. I mean, people
which
are like,
is
it's a new Mourinho thing. Like, they didn't have a shot in the second half. It's the same old Mourinho. But
it also is a Franklin thing, because he got spanked last year in the big side, like those big games, and now he's showing up and he's not playing. His team hasn't played those 2 games. Man United, Tottenham didn't play.
Yeah. So I mean, and then Burnley, Sheffield United, Newcastle are like 3 of the probably bottom 5 teams in terms of, scoring goals and XG and all that stuff. So I think it's a little bit like we're reading almost too much into those and forgetting how they were early in the season. And it'll be really interesting. They have Leeds and Everton next to, and I don't really anticipate cleans there.
No, definitely not.
I don't think Frank's going to treat those as one of the big 6 games and shut up shop. So I agree. I think they might get exposed. So it's something to watch there. Whereas
I agree.
I think I agree with you that City, no matter the opponent, has the ability to control the game. So it's like a different level almost.
I mean, it still comes back to the Pep. I mean, I believe.
Yeah.
I have so much more faith in him, and every single game, Liverpool, they've kept a few this year so far. They just look really solid. I feel like City are going to just start churning out wins. Like, they're going to just be winning every game for the next couple months.
Grinding out 1-0 and 2-0.
Like, they're just going to be winning all these games.
Yeah. It does sort of feel that way to me too.
And the other thing too is it still comes back to like home Burnley, Rodri, Gundo, Kev. Like that's the thing. Right. That's the thing, right?
Whereas last year that was
Dino,
Rodri,
Silva,
or
Kev.
Dino, Silva, Kev.
Yeah,
with three attackers.
Yes, yeah.
With attacking left back and who's basically playing winger.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what they're doing. And the manager's better, and the players are better.
And no Diash, right? Like, it's everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's made a big difference. Yeah, and it's frankly, it's City defense.
It's still. I mean, we'll get to this when we get to our teams, though. I'm still just like I feel like an idiot not getting Chilwell.
Well, we were talking about the team defense.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
Chilwell's better than Mo at this point. I mean, Mo blanks. Chilwell doesn't blank. Hasn't blanked once.
So we got more defense questions. I think Al is taking the piss here, but he said Spurs have cleaned 4 out of the last 5. Is it time we go back to Dyer as an option? What do you think, Walsh? Too soon?
It's upsetting. I would be lying to you if it didn't upset me. I mean, that's about all I can say about it, right? What are we doing here with that? I sat here pre-Cogs, game week 1, right? That fucking absolutely nailed in there. He plays every fucking game. He missed one game.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell he's doing out there. Usually I don't know what he's doing.
Right.
But this is the same thing that happened last year with like Liverpool, where we like jump off on the second guy
and then or whatever.
Yeah. And they struggled at the beginning of the year with the cleans, but now they're just reverting to type. 4 and 5. They're doing they are who we thought they were.
The thing is that I would say is that like in the big matches, like this Chelsea match is a perfect example. That was like complete old school Mourinho. Like pressing, fully deep banks, no interest at attacking whatsoever.
Same as the City game, two in the bounds.
And he'll do that in the big games, but. West Brom, they were really lucky to keep it clean. Burnley, they were really lucky to keep it clean. In those matches, in the matches where they've been scoring goals, they're high pressing big time. And their midfield isn't good enough, and they're still conceding big chances.
And they lose. I see what you're saying. Okay.
So I don't really think this is going to be a thing.
I see where you're coming from there. I see that.
Yeah.
I still just feel like the shithousery is top notch there from the City. Dude, Mourinho teams always keep in like the 13 region of clean sheets, and Dyer's now he's 4-9. You're gonna be okay there.
Yeah,
you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I mean the upcoming fixtures are really good on paper for cleans. I just don't know which team's gonna show up. In terms of pressing and stuff like that. They could keep 5 in the next 6 easily. It's like if they choose to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you look at a fixture like Wolves or Fulham, which are upcoming soon. It's like if they're high pressing that game and leaving space, they're not going to keep clean in either game, I don't think. But if they're being really conservative and dog shit, then they probably will, and they'll just concede like one chance.
Yeah.
So that's why I have a hard time there. I feel like it's like not predictable almost. Faz, we got a bunch of defense questions. So Faz and Billetico both asking for cheap defenders. If you're strapped for cash at the back, who are the best cheap defenders? I feel like we get this question every week, and usually the answers are the same.
Why do we keep? What's the deal with it?
Should I just stop?
Well, I don't know. I mean, what's the point? I'm just wondering, like, what's the thinking there? Like, is it like, do people want to see if we feel like our feelings towards teams shift?
I think that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because like 3 weeks ago, we would have been like, Villa's still good, blah, blah, blah. And maybe now we'll be like, I'm not sure about Villa.
So we could touch on that a little bit, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think we, Burnley got fucked sideways by City, but we were both pretty high on like Burnley are back last week, and that remains
hasn't
the
changed.
Same to me. So that's still good.
Villa, I'm concerned.
Are
I mean, this was the thing we've been like kind of lingering around, and we've touched on this in the last few months about just playing with the single DM and
they've
what are they up to
in the last 5.
Yeah, and you could I understand today, right? You can tell me 2 shots on target, 2 goals. Well, that's a problem. I mean, they lose the focus, right? And they concede a couple. I mean, they didn't look like cleaning, even though they only let 2 shots on target, right? There was. This was. One was a set piece. It was
the weirdest
game,
game ever. Both goals came within the first few minutes of each half, and then Villa basically dominated the rest of the game.
But they're not a compact team. Like, they're an expansive, open team, which is what we've been seeing from them all year, sort of, Villa. And they try and smother you, but they let up plenty of chances. Like, they do. I mean, they've kept 4 cleans in 10, which is a good clip. But, a couple of them are in 9. A couple of them were really early against Sheffield United and Fulham when they weren't functioning at all. And then, the Leicester one was a little bit lucky. And then they did the Arsenal one. So I don't feel like this is a very good, reliable clean sheet team like with Burnley or, when they're just setting up to defend. And I know a lot of people have Emmy and shit, and pretty much everyone's got a Villa defender. And you looked at the fixtures, and you're thinking they're good for a couple cleans here. Well, they just got Brighton and West Ham out of the way with none. Home Newcastle, at Wolves, home Burnley, at West Brom, home Palace. They could keep 1. I'm down on them.
I can tell. I mean, I think the next 5 are like some of the best clean sheet fixtures in the entire league.
I just don't think there are good clean sheet fixtures for them.
But that's the last 5 are like deceptively bad. How often do Leeds, Southampton, Brighton, and West Ham get shut out? Not often at all. And the one that was a good fixture, they 3-0'd Arsenal.
Yeah.
For a clean sheet, and they do only have the one DM, and Douglas Luiz he's like not even a DM. I don't even know what he does, but there is still the weird thing where, well, going into this week, I think it changed after this week. Cash and Trezeguet were both top 5 in tackles and interceptions in the league, and they are basically doing like the defensive work that a DM would be doing. And the center backs stay really deep, and the fullbacks maximum 1 at a time goes forward, unless like today they're late chasing a game or whatever. I still think that I still love the next 5. I'm not like selling my guys at all. I'm confidently starting them all for the next 5. And then I want to reevaluate, I think, is where I'm at. But also, I just realized this Friday match might not even fucking happen. So
yeah, I mean, we don't have to. We could talk about it on My Life Pod, but
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you still look at the fixtures and you're like, oh, Villa are good. I don't know. I think I'm still having a lot of hangover from Dean Smith. I don't like Dean Smith. Don't like the manager.
I know you don't.
Don't like. I feel like he gets the worst out of the personnel as possible, almost, when I watch them play, and it just frustrates me. It frustrates me a lot, and I don't like the defense as much. It's a little bit annoying to me.
Yeah,
but I still for example, the West Ham. Give me a West Ham. Give me like
West Ham.
Give me like Kufal over any Villa defender, because they are organized. They do play compact, like just like Burnley, right? Like, that's what I look for. I want my 4 or 5 defender to play on a team that is fucking organized and compact. That's it. I don't care about anything else. And that's Moyes, say what you will about him, he knows how to do that, as evidenced. And that. So I definitely
I love West Ham. Yeah, love that.
Yeah, definitely more high on West Ham. Definitely more high on Burnley of the 4 or 5 teams than probably any others. And I still think that we're going to keep some, even though we've been looking really diabolical.
That's
we're
going to
keep
some cleans. Palace and Burnley. Yeah.
We're going to keep some.
The problem is there's not really like a pick on Palace.
I think Gaza, now that he started, is probably going to be reasonably safe.
Yeah, if he's healthy. If he's fit, he plays. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've got 1 this year. Is that correct? We have 1 clean sheet. I think we have 1 clean sheet, which is nuts.
Game week 1. Home Southampton. Not even a good picture. Yeah.
Not good. But we have some difficult fixtures upcoming. But then this comes back into, what do you need out of this spot? Is this a rotator? Is this someone you start every week? If you're starting them every week, then you want like a Lamptey, right? You want someone who you can hope for an attacking return when they play a bad team, and maybe they keep a clean sheet in the reasonable fixtures. So
right. Yeah,
I think
Palace and Burnley are
pick's
both
okay.
rotatable. Like that,
Leeds,
they're not start every week.
Yeah, Leeds, insane. I don't think I've gotten more lucky in my last few years than with Dallas getting points. Like, he gets points every week. I don't know how they have one clean sheet.
Kind of
it's offensive.
Pisses me off.
It's like a personal
every
attack.
time it happens, and people have like Meslier and Dallas and Ailing, and I'm just like, they don't deserve this at all. Like, what the fuck is happening? Dallas has 4 cleans. He puts him an 8-pointer. Everyone gets him auto sub from the bench. I'm just like, what is life?
I mean, I started him, so give me a little credit.
You're a different
there.
story.
Okay?
Yeah. No, you're a pop partner,
I need all the help I can get. But I mean, I hate him. I think he's a fucking horrible pick, and he's just been getting points for me. He's like my best player. I fucking hate him. They are ridiculous that I keep clean sheets ever. I don't understand. I
concede so many chances.
So many chances every single fucking game. Worse, I would rather have a West Brom defender. I would rather have a Fulham defender. Maybe even Newcastle. Leeds defense, maybe worst FPL defense in the fucking league.
Yet, the points.
I mean, the points speak for themselves. They just keep coming.
Meslier, 11-pointer. Why not?
He's really good. He's really good, though.
He's the only one that's really good.
He's
Koch, Cooper, Ailing, Dallas.
Yeah, he's
trash.
like Hendo.
He does good.
He does the Hendo thing where he saves them.
Actual
he saved
points.
them points.
Yeah,
he
saves
fucking
Max Bones. Like he
so
earns
good.
Points. He's really good.
So good.
I've never looked at someone and had less confidence that they're a good footballer than him, like clapping his gloves before a match starts.
He looks special.
But he's really good. They're so frustrating. They're so frustrating going forward too, because none of their mids are good for FPL. They're all good. IRL.
Rafinha's good.
Maybe.
No, definitely. Rafinha.
Are you talking about IRL or FPL?
Both. He's
really good IRL. He might be good FPL.
This is upward chart trajectory. He's fucking so good.
I love him.
He's good, dude.
Remains to be seen if he's going to be FPL, though, I think.
He's good.
I'm totally with you that he's good. But none of their mids have been good for FPL. And they're all liable to be subbed off within 15 minutes. Like, that's a real thing.
Rafinha, it's his spot now. He's been there for a few months, and he's fit enough. 2 starts in a row.
Yeah,
he's gonna just keep getting better and better.
If I was gonna choose any of them, there's absolutely no question in the world that it would be him.
Yeah, he's really good.
But Leeds,
Southampton defense also not good.
They're
not good.
They're like. I mean, we talked about this last week with what team we want to captain against, and they're basically my number 2 behind Leeds.
Yeah.
But at the same time, in the easy, good fixtures, they just boss the game so fucking hard that they clean. Whereas, like, Leeds will never do that.
Yeah, probably not.
Like, Southampton can play Burnley, can play, Newcastle, and just concede, like, nothing at all. And just, like...
Yeah.
That's the one thing with them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that they're down. They're also on a downward to me in that 4-5 region. Mm-hmm. I don't like them.
Yeah, no, I'm not buying them. I mean, I've been looking forward to that Man U fixture for a while, and I was like, I'm definitely captaining against them. It's the perfect fixture, and
almost scored.
Yeah, and Bruno could have had a fucking ridiculous haul if I was a little luckier. So. Duet said, is Chilwell, more defender questions, is Chilwell worth the 1 million over James now that James seems to be nailed? And then Yo Bill said, preseason we were all thinking double or even triple pool defense. With what we've seen from Chelsea, is there any reason to not go triple Chelsea defense? Keeping cleans, Chilwell, James, Zuma, all have attacking return potential. You get all 3, not spend a transfer on defense again until next wild card.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about
love
the
a
triple defense. I love a triple up. Yeah, I think that's fine. It still comes back to, how do you play the game kind of a thing? Because 6'2", Chilwell, Zuma 5'5", James 5'1". I mean, that's not too expensive, really. And if you jam them all in, and you're not really missing much with any of the attackers for their price compared to other, right? But I'm still sitting there, well, is Zuma better than Diaz? Like, no, Chilwell, yeah, okay, easy include. Like James, 5'1", definitely looks like he's got that spot down, right? He's definitely got it, made it his own.
He's a great pick.
Yeah, Aspil fucking faded out into oblivion where he should have been a while ago. I think we were all just collectively afraid because he's a captain and this and that and things like that. But realistically, he should have been starting for them last year. He played 3,000 plus minutes. James, yeah, I mean, it's accepting that we were wrong at the beginning of the season when we were really saying that he was a horrible pick because we were worried about him not playing.
Then we were kind of right because then he got dropped for back-to-back matches.
Yeah,
and we
back-to-back
were like,
games, and he had 2 1-pointers, back-to-back, and then all of a sudden he's back in, and he's always going to be good on the bonus points because he just whips in shitty crosses all game. That's all the fuck he does is throw crosses into the box. So 5-1, good pick. So yeah, you could tell me Chilwell, James, and then insert other name here. I don't.
I like it. I actually like it.
Yeah, it's
they
interesting.
have so much.
It's
they're
different.
Chilwell and James are so good on bonus and so far forward that that's kind of exactly what you want from a set and forget. Is they get attack returns, they can bones, and they can clean in any match.
And especially in the good team matches, because all Franklin does is not play, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a pretty fun thing to try.
Yeah. They're so high on BPS. Zuma too. Yeah. I mean, from his goals mostly, but still. Yeah, I'm looking at their BAPs now. It's out of control.
The fixtures though are a little bit. I don't know.
But if you do a thing like that, you don't care about fixtures.
You don't care.
You run them out for 20 game weeks.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. I kind of like it. Okay. And what about Chilwell versus James?
I mean, Chilwell obviously better pick. More.
I know, but is he worth it? Over a mil?
I guess no, but yes. It just depends on your team.
There's a tiny little seed in my head that's still like Chilwell's actually nailed and James could be rotated. But is that stupid? Do I need to get over that? It's like
I think at this point
it's this big.
Yeah, at this point I don't think it should be the reason. Like you could just notice it, but I don't think it should be a deciding factor. The more important thing to me is that Reece James will not score goals, and Chilwell is making back post runs for tap-ins. Yeah. So I think that Chilwell has 3 more goals in him this year, maybe.
Chilwell could finish with 5 and 12.
I don't know if he has 12 assists in him because he's really not. I feel like he's not creating much anymore. That's but true. He could score, a few more goals and a couple more assists. I think he's going to get more. $1 million. It just depends on the team.
Yeah.
It depends on the team. They're both good. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy how low Chilwell's creativity numbers is. That he's really being treated as auxiliary forward.
Yeah, he's totally. He's totally.
Got a couple Everton questions here. People are concerned. I'm a bit concerned. Villa Luke said, is Hamas an instant sell? 5 blanks and 5. Also a few mid-price mids looking to have higher ceilings next few. And Hemdog said, is it time for the DCL day one club to cash in, walk away from the table? Everton seem a bit lackluster recently, coming up against the odd buster too soon. So the fixtures do get a bit worse. We were looking forward to the, Fulham and Leeds, but Burnley, Chelsea, Leicester, Arsenal, Sheffield City, West Ham, Wolves. It's a pretty bad run for a while. Just start with James. He was so good. And again, just gets nothing out of it. Could have easily had a couple of assists. He was offsides when he had the most ridiculous touch and goal ever. And it just feels so bad. So involved in everything. Most fucking created 1 million chances, center of everything. So good. Such a good performance again, but it's a bit of a problem. 5 straight blanks. Not good.
The problem with him is the same thing that we see with, players like Eriksson. This is what he reminds me of for FPL. Is it right when they don't get shots in the box and they are those players who their FPL points get buoyed by when they get an assist, it's not 3 points, it's worth like 5 or 6 usually.
Yep.
You still are relying on your teammates to finish. And yeah, he's coming on like the other side of the variance. In the beginning, he had 3 and 4 or whatever, right? And he's like, this is great. Those players, you need to accept that, it's not really like a fixture run, or it's not like you're going to catch lightning in a bottle. It's more of that slow burn. So I still feel like he looks the same to me as he always had at the beginning of the season. Yeah. So I don't really see the need or the urgent, like, oh my God, he's blank. Yes. Okay. He's blank for a few, but he still looks the same to me. So I'm fine with it. I'm honestly, I don't see a big deal with him. The
thing that Luke brought up, and I think is correct, is that there's other guys that are maybe better now. Like, if people still don't have Jack, which a lot of people don't, when Wilf eventually gains fitness, he's playing striker. Jota is also playing forward for Liverpool. Even fucking Neto Podence, Bowen, there's actual goal scorers. It's like the thing that you just said, there are guys who don't rely on their teammates and just score goals.
Yeah, fair.
And their fixture run's bad. I'm a bit concerned. I mean, someone like him too, when I see a match every 3 days, I'm like, he can't do that. I don't think he's going to survive.
Yeah, no, that's a concern. Okay, yeah. Ugh.
He's still gonna haul sometimes, but it's tough.
What? But like, how is he different than Jack? What's the difference?
Jack gets him in the box all the time, shoots all the time.
Does he shoot all the time?
I mean, today he shot all the time.
He shot a few times today. Shoots more, yeah. Okay,
that's it. I mean, that's really it. He's just like taking people on constantly in the box.
At Burnley, I mean, I'm still not going to tell anyone to get rid of him at Burnley.
It's not,
that's the kind of game that he could do. Yeah, but if you're looking at your team and finding funds or a place to upgrade, you think that is where you should look.
Yeah, so I mean, like you brought up with classic Ericsson and stuff like that. Like it's always hard to get rid of those guys because it's hard to just sit with them in your team for 2 months when they blank, even though they're really good players and it'll probably come through, right?
Yeah,
I don't know the right answer, but yeah, I mean, Jack's got the shots, the XGs, creating the same number of chances.
Jota shoots and shit, and he's playing is cheaper.
And he's on fucking Liverpool, and
okay.
And like Wilf, I think Wilf is a good example. Like they're basically the same price. Wilf a little cheaper now. I mean, obviously he still has COVID or whatever, but he's playing striker. Yeah, they're a worse attack, but it's all on Wilf, and he's on pens, and it's just like it's hard to keep up with that, I think.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. All right, what else we got?
We just got a bunch of random questions. Unless there's something else you want to talk about.
See, now this is the kind of pod that I feel like we get stuck in.
What do you mean
the weeds? Like we're just like we're doing the thing like where we're just talking about the
question. I think it's often that we let questions guide us, and it's not a bad way to do it. But I'm also very open to like if there's something else you want to talk about.
No, I don't know. I don't know, man.
We've had some good rants and stuff, I think. Like, not rants, but tangents. So let's do some questions. Graham, this is a good question. Are there any teams you guys still don't have a handle on what they're about? It seems like some of the questions about Chelsea, Spurs, etc. have been answered. We can reliably predict what they'll set out to do each week. Just wondering if there's any teams that are still question marks. I'm just gonna like open the table and look around.
Question marks. Arsenal.
They're not question mark. They're just really bad.
I don't believe that.
I think they're really bad.
They've been really bad, but I don't think that team and the squad is really bad. Like I feel like I mean, I talked about it last week, right? And egg on my face. They fucking were a dog this weekend. I still feel
but that's what we talked about. That's what we actually talked about, is what they are now versus what they could potentially be. Yeah. But we haven't seen it.
But that means I don't have a handle on it because I don't know.
I have a handle. They're really bad right now. And I will change my handle on them if they change something else, you know?
That's fair. But see, I see it differently because, like, with Sheffield United, like, they're bad right now and they're going to be bad for the whole year. Like, boxed. Arsenal, bad right now. Don't know if they're going to be bad all year. So I don't have a handle on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're just
a handle on
both pretty
Palace.
bad.
The manager at Palace doesn't want to attack and doesn't want to score goals. So
we've had a handle on them for 5 seasons running now.
Yeah. That's a rough one.
I mean, kind of Everton, actually, now that we bring up Everton. They started the season absolutely bossing everything, looking incredible. Good attack. And even at the beginning of the season, I feel like their defense was okay. You know, they kept
their defense was never okay with Pickford.
Like, they kept up, you know what I mean? The defenders. They kept out Spurs. You know, they did an okay job against, like, Palace, Brighton, Liverpool. They just fell off a cliff, though, results-wise and defense-wise. I mean, they let up 2 or 3 goals every single match.
Yeah.
And their attack isn't as good as it was early doors.
Yeah, I mean, they're the thing. They could go to Burnley and lose to 0, and I wouldn't be like, surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But that's me kind of not having a handle on them. Like, are they a top 6 team, or are they like they're anywhere between 6th and 12th team? That's fucking
But you
hard.
also don't have a good handle on Fulham because they're good, and you keep your denier.
Well, no, I think we just have different definitions of good.
Yeah, okay, let's go. What is it?
If I were to say Fulham are good, I would mean they might finish 17th. But when you say they're good,
this is an attack.
But when you say they're good, you're like, they're good. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, when I say they're good, like, I think they could finish like 14th.
Nah.
Yeah.
I believe
just
that. Disagreeing.
I genuinely believe that.
Super don't believe that.
Yeah. I super believe that.
Interesting. So I guess combined, we don't have a handle on them, even though both of us think.
I do.
We both think we have a handle on them, but combined, we have no handle on them.
Well, I know I have a handle on them. I know that you don't have a handle on them.
You know what this is, actually? This is us talking on Precog Pod about Pookie and how we can avoid Pookie, because everyone last season went from, preseason, Norwich are definitely the worst team in the league and going to get relegated, right?
No, this is not the same thing. This is not the same thing.
Listen, let me finish it. And then we go into the season. They start hot. They do some stuff. They have some really good results. People are like, wow, Norwich are good. And then, but we don't wait the preseason evaluation. And then they turn into the worst team in the league for the rest of the season.
No, it's not the same thing.
Why
because game weeks 1 through 4, their defense was Joe Bryan, Tim Ream, Adoy. Like, that is not
legends
fair.
Of Fulham FC.
Yeah, legends of the Hidden Temple. Like, that was our preseason evaluation. But
Virgil
now they
Van
have
Mike.
Virgil Van Mike. They have literally 4 different players. They have 4 into every single 4 different players.
Yes.
They weren't even on the fucking team when we were doing our preseason.
Yes.
Not fair. That's not fair.
Yes. But most of the squad is still. Right?
No, I mean Lookman, Zambo, like, these are Lamina, like, these are entities that we didn't know about before. And yes, they're going to struggle for goals. I mean, he's benching. I mean, Parker, absolute fucking moron. I have no idea what he's doing.
No, Caballero scored, dude. He knows what he's doing.
But even RLC, right? They didn't have RLC. Like, they have, like, this is like 7 of their 11 start, and the goalie, fucking incredible. This is like 7 or 8 of the players are different than who we thought that they were going to be starting in game week 1. So
I
this
still
is where
look
I'm
at the team
from
and I still just see like Mitro/Reed. I see a lot of Caballero and Kearney.
Yeah,
and I'm just like,
no, yeah.
The players are better, I agree, but I don't know if they're so much better that we go from this is the 20th team in the league to significantly out of that range with a bad manager too, who just
manager.
like a Fulham fan that I follow on Twitter was like, I love my idiot manager because he goes full galaxy brain by just benching like Mitro and blah 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 blah, and it actually worked. And he's just like, oh my god.
That's the thing, is it's in spite of him. Like, in spite of him, they destroyed them.
That's kind of a contradiction too, though, because you think Leicester are like the worst team in the league. Got you there. Got you there. Okay, moving on. Fulham. We need to get Fulhamish.
Dude, that was great. Fulham 2, Leicester 1.
Lovely. Oh. Zambo is so good. Can't wait for him to go to a better team.
And this is the thing too, that it's going to be like game week 32, and then all of the things are going to be who's the best player in the bottom 10. That's like, and it's going to be Zambo, and we've been fucking on him since like game.
Oh yeah. We've been on him since he was in Spain. I mean, yeah, that's definitely true. When they make a first 11 outside the big six or whatever.
And dude, honestly, like. Him, but like, look, say today, right? We're watching the game today. He is unplayable. Like, can't get the ball off him.
Yeah.
He's insane. He's an insane player. And when you look at these teams in the 15 to 20 region, they don't have someone like this. Like, this is not someone that they have to work with.
Yeah.
And even Parker's not benching it. He benches him when he comes back from fucking international. Like, that's okay.
The thing is
but
like,
even Parker doesn't bench him.
I agree with him and your evaluation of him, and he's so much better than anyone all of these other teams have. Where I don't agree is, like, I don't really have that strong of feelings on the defenders. Like, I don't even know how good they are. We've seen them be as bad as the first group. Well, they have mistakes in them and shit, so.
Anderson was very bad in the Everton game.
Yeah.
Like, he individually lost his fucking head.
Yeah.
The other 3 games, he's been great. Adarabayo, great.
Yeah.
Aina, great.
Good.
Robinson, sketch. Areola, big deal. Like, he's
good.
He's a big,
but
that's like, that's when you watch them, right?
Stuff. Even today, like, when Leicester brought on all their attackers, like, there was a lot of space and there were a lot of mistakes and, like, not punished necessarily all of them, but I just don't feel. I agree with everything you're saying, and they're better, but I don't think they're all Zambo levels better.
Well,
of going from fucking Kearney to Zambo or fuckface to Zambo.
Well, wait, but I do, because Adoy, Virgil van Mike, like, what
Ream.
Are you comparing them to? Yeah, Ream,
I know, but I mean,
yes, they are that much better.
I don't know if they are. I just don't know. Fulham, dude.
Fucking, they're good, dude. They're actually good. RLC,
they were definitely good today.
They've been good.
Definitely good today.
How many, like, if you look, okay, like, obviously Parker does insane shit all the time, but how many, like, halves this year have they put together that were, like, really good? Like, more than, like, 5. Like, they put together, sometimes they just put these halves, like, they're fucking good.
Yeah,
they're good.
West Brom game. A second half of Everton game today. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Good team.
We'll see.
I'm going to get you on side here with the Fulham.
I like a lot of the individual players.
Yeah, they're good. They're going to not get relegated.
Maybe it's just Scotty that I just can't get past.
No, and you don't need to. He's fucking stupid, but even today, like, he accidentally threw the dart on, like, put Reed in. He was great again, right?
Harrison
he's been starting a few.
Yeah.
He
was
put
there
finally
last year.
And put RLC, but he was hurt, but put RLC in the starting lineup finally again after not starting for like fucking 2 or 3 games, and he played really well.
So let me follow up question.
Bobby Reed was fucking 2 games in a row really good. Like, he's been really good.
Follow up question. I mean, we're doing our thing now, so everyone can fuck off. But so who do they finish ahead of?
I don't know, a bunch of teams.
I know, but who's
West Brom,
really bad? Yeah, West Brom and Sheffield United. Sure.
Newcastle, Brighton. They'll finish ahead of Brighton.
Brighton are only 3 points ahead. That's funny.
Yeah, no, these are. I mean, Palace. I don't think we'll finish ahead of them.
That's another 6-point lead.
Yeah, we're a worse team.
So you think Fulham is just going to consistently be good, and all these other teams are going to consistently be bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
They're good.
Any
they have good
FPL
fucking
options
players.
you like? Aside from, obviously, bench Zambo, best 4 or 5 bench guy.
No.
Lookman? 5-0?
Yeah. I mean, he seems to be the
He's
one
still
player
good.
immune. His finish was fucking class. But he's also a bit of a donkey.
He's a winger. He is not like a striker. You know, he fucks up shit all the time, but he also is trying shit all the time, which is what you want from your FPL guys. So you could start him every week and not feel bad about it.
Yeah, you could.
5th mid and a 3-5-2. Yeah. The thing is, like,
the problem is they play City and Liverpool the next two. Don't love that.
It's a big problem.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Big problem.
big problem. So, which makes the win today even all the much sweeter because they can put 0 on the board for the next 2 and they could still feel
because they looked at the next 3 and probably like, maybe we can get 1 point in 3, and they already got 3.
Easy game.
Easy game for Scotty P. Cam Anderson. There's only 4 more questions. Cam Anderson said, I feel like I've heard a lot of talk of selling Timo. Feels to me more like a time to buy Timo. Chelsea are figuring it out with game time. Timo's on pens. They can start resting midweek. Buy, hold, sell. Where are you at on Timo? You've been anti-Timo all year. His points have been shady.
Yeah, I don't like the player playing left wing.
Yeah.
So until he's central with Pulisic left.
Which might be very soon.
Could be, until Pulisic gets hurt. When Tammy's playing, it's the same thing that every time I watch them is like, Tammy's in the positions where I want Timo to be. Tammy's like better right now. You know, like when they both play 90 and I'm watching them, like Tammy's getting more chances.
Right. Yeah,
Timo does
he's
it,
shooting
and that's
a lot more and stuff.
Yeah, that's fucking fucked. And he's 9'5". That's really expensive. So I don't think buy. I also don't think sell though. You know, because he's still really.
That's the thing is he's so good.
They're playing fucking Leeds next, so we know how we
he's
feel
like
about
a captaincy option.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like he's shooting over since, you know, when I've been. What is it? Game week 5 is when I take all my stats now because that's when like real football's begun. Tammy's shooting over a shot more per 90, and Timo still has the better XG, better XA, more goals, more assists.
Yeah, I mean that's setting the bar low. It's Tammy, you know. Tammy's has a lot of his faults.
It shows
no,
how good he can be.
Yeah, but you know, 9'5". Yeah, it still just feels like a don't buy, don't sell to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean these next 2, honestly, Leeds, Everton.
They're good. Yeah, they're good.
Those are legit captaincy hauls. I actually
they're good.
Like the buy there, you know. But
to buy? Okay.
Like if someone's selling Kane, like I obviously sold Kane last week. I think people are.
No one's selling Kane before Arsenal, though, are they?
I don't know. I'd sell Kane before basically any fixture. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Okay,
he could legit had either of those games. We've seen it. We've seen how good he can be.
You heard it here.
Brian, this is a reaction to tonight's game, but is Bowen a legit option?
No, I mean not until Antonio looks good again, because the only time I've ever seen Bowen look like a good FPL pick is when Antonio's flying around, and then he kind of gets lost. But no.
What I thought of when I watched Bowen today, I don't know if this is going to even make sense, but Bowen is like 5 years ago. Bowen is such a good pick. It's like
it doesn't make sense.
It's what we talked about last week, how there's just so many more good players and good teams and stuff, and it's just, you know, in the past, FPL used to be like there's only a couple good teams, and you have those guys, and then everyone else is spread out with like different 4 or 5 defenders and different mids and stuff like that. Yeah. How the game used to be different. I feel like he's he's never going to like significantly be better than these other guys that we've been talking about. He's never just going to be like, he's way better than Jota. Definitely great pick, Bowen, you know?
Yeah.
But he's a good player on a good team. It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, he is really high up there in the point totals.
Yeah.
For midfielders somehow. I mean, he
He's
doesn't even have
digits
that many
for
returns.
an 8-pointer. Yeah.
He's 1 and 2 right now. So, I mean, that's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like him. He's a good player.
Yeah.
You know, he looks good, but it's with West Ham too. You know, we talked a little bit about them today during the Villa game. It looks like he's persisting with this lineup. So, you know, how much are they really attacking in any given game? Right? They go up 1-0 and they just turtle. Yeah. They don't do anything. They don't play. So you don't want attackers on teams like that too much, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You really don't. Really don't. I mean, Bowen, it's similar, kind of like Spurs, like they're like Spurs light, where it's like instead of Antonio and Bowen, it's like Kane and Son, where it's like, okay, well, if they only do actually get those 3 or 4 chances, then they'll probably put 1 or 2 in.
What it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have the same confidence. I mean, like they're priced to play. I guess they're like $3 million less, but it's sort of something like that. And yeah, I mean, then I look at the other teams, you know, like Grealish or Zaha. You know, you got a lot of Jota. You got a lot of other picks in that 6-7 region that just feel a bit better.
This is a question for you, Paul M. At 5'4", Rafinha's too expensive to have as a super place and bench cover. But would you feel feel comfortable starting him every week? Please tell Walsh I asked this at halftime, not after the goal. He wants to make that clear.
Oh, I like that. That's a good qualifier.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I 1,000,000% think that he's a buy and start right now.
It seems very clear that he's the only mid that is like in Leeds that can dribble around and make stuff happen on his own and like will maybe consistently be on the ball in attacking areas and just
the funny
everyone
thing
else
is that
is just like
he replaced Helder, and Helder could actually do that also. He's just a bit shit.
Yeah, he sucks at football.
But he was good at that.
He's good at running around and getting in places.
And the dribble and the take. Like, he was able to do that kind of thing or whatever. But Rafinha, he's just so classy. And you watching him, he's good. He's just a really good player, and I think he's a good pick. And it's 5'4" is really cheap. The only way that they go is forward. And he's like Jack Harrison, right? You watch Jack Harrison play and you're like, oh yeah, like Bielsa got way more out of this guy than anyone ever should have in their fucking life, because this player is not that good.
He's an MLS player.
Yes, and absolutely go to the Columbus Crew, best player on the team.
No,
that's where he's going to finish his career.
Toronto FC in
3 years.
3 years.
Rafinha is fucking good. Good player.
Skills, good. Yeah.
Yes. Rafinha, good pick.
For what it's worth, also, I was watching Match of the Day, and Harrison said after the fact, he was like, he scores those nonstop in training.
Of course he does. It's easy game for him.
It's a thing that, whatever,
it
shouldn't matter, but it might move a little bit. Yeah,
it was just like a lot.
Yeah, it's like, so all day he's just like putting in worldies against Meslier in training.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Best goalkeeper in the best goalkeeper in the. What about Son over here? What are we doing about that?
I still think he's fine to hold. I mean, 0 shots, whatever. I know, but. World class finisher. Arsenal. He's always good in FPL. He'll get his few chances. That's it. That's all you need. I mean,
all right.
Yeah, that's how I feel about him. That's why Kane is so much worse in that weird way, because he just like is dropping deeper and he's just trying to set up Son. Basically, that's his fucking shit. And in these games where they're parked, there's gonna only be a few shots or whatever. You need Son to take him. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
And then last question, Yo Bill said, assuming Ings comes back healthy, is Kane worth 2.6 million more if you're not capping him? Following that, are Kane or Ings worth the premium price over Callum, which is just so triggering.
Whoa. Who asked that?
Yo Bills. Toxic.
Don't love that one, Bills. Don't love that one.
Toxic. But
imagine watching Newcastle game.
I can't.
This is
I can't. You gotta watch the fucking tape.
Thing. No one watches game. People don't watch. If you own Callum, you don't watch Newcastle play. You haven't seen them play all year, right?
Yes, I think so. Which is arguably a weakness of ours. Because we watch all the games. I miss 1, max 2 games a week. You basically the same. And we can watch and just be like, Newcastle sucks so much dick. Callum gets a bullshit goal in like stoppage time. Horrible. Meanwhile, he's like, what, a third in forwards or something?
He has 10 returns and 10.
So someone who doesn't watch it, some fucking I'm doing the match of the day surprise or whatever the fuck it's called. Sits at home. What's it called? They just sit at home. They just sort by total points, and they're just like, Callum, easy pick. Scores every game. No doubter. We watch the games, and we're like, no, he's horrible. What? You have to watch the games. You don't have to watch shit. You just fucking put it into the computer and say, give me the highest point scorer, please. Sort by points per million. Oh, there he is. Is that what it's called? Match of the day surprise? Challenge. It's so much lamer if it's surprise. I'm pulling the match of the day surprise today, boys. Wish me luck. Going out with the missus.
Hope you get surprised at the end.
Hope it's a happy little surprise, Bob Ross. Too soon. Let's move on, man. Let's talk about our teams. What are you looking at transfer-wise? What are we talking here?
Transfer's been done.
Already? Oh, yeah. What'd you do? I don't even remember.
Raz to Bruno.
Raz to Bruno. Is Bruno good for FPL?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, there are so many this is the thing of why I'm bad, but I hit Bruno in immediately. The only hit I took was get Bruno.
What game was that?
All he did was get points for me. Game week 3.
Game week 2, you brought in Bruno for Jota.
Oh, well, that was...
Dude,
we don't need to talk about my big brain.
What a week. Now. You brought in Bruno and Zambo for Jota and Kai. Great move.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay. And then, all he does is get points for me, and then I get rid of him on wild card, and then, the rest has just been written. So it's just correcting the previous good move and previous mistake. And I had this is the thing also.
Yeah, Bruno also fits into the Callum thing you were just saying, right? If you watch every single United game this season, you can talk yourself out of Bruno. Because it's like, oh my God, they're fucking another United sucks. Performance, a nightmare, like can't break down a bus, blah, blah, blah. If you just sort by total
Lucky
points.
Pen and stoppage.
Yeah, you just sort by total points. Easiest pick in the world.
The Brighton game was really, really tilting because he was on 4 points. He had an assist card, wasn't playing well, and then they got a stop, and the team looked abject, and then they get the pen in stoppage
after the final whistle.
Yeah, after the game's over, he gets the pen, and it was like an 8-point pen, and then he got 12 in them. And then the Spurs game too is he scored and then got subbed at half. I was like, what the actual fuck?
Right.
And then that's when I wild carded, right? So I don't know where I was going with that. Oh yeah. So, but I walk on with my family twice a day, every day, twice a day.
Yeah.
And I just talked to Lauren about all of the things that are going on in my team and shit. And she doesn't know fucking Adam from Eve. She couldn't tell you the rules of the game. She doesn't know anything about any sport that exists except for gymnastics. And it's what she did when she was growing up. I don't even know. Not enough. A sport, whatever. And she just she puts these things in my head. She says to me, why do you ever get Kevin? All you do is talk to me about how much you hate Kevin. Wow. And then she's like, well, how come you don't captain Mo all the time? You always talk about Mo. You love Mo. Mo's so good. I love Mo. You're so good. How come you don't captain him and you captain these guys I've never heard of?
Yeah.
And it's leaving a mark.
Yeah.
Because I don't have answers for any of the questions.
Can't answer. That's
I'm
the
like,
thing.
why don't I? She's like, why don't I captain the best player in the game almost ever? Like, it's a good question. I don't know.
And then you tell her you're captaining Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and she's
then
I've never heard that name in my fucking life.
Yeah, she's like, that's bad. And then it's like, when I captain Kevin, I've captained him, I think, 3 times this year, and he's blanked in all 3 of them. And I was like thinking about it, and I couldn't face her. I couldn't say, what do you think if I captain Kevin? I can't face her. She'll just bury me.
Oh my God.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing. So maybe that'll help you in the future.
Luckily, she's never listened to an episode of this, ever. She's never listened to one episode of it.
That's kind of amazing. She's never listened.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like, if she had a fucking podcast about, like, knitting, I would listen to them all. I'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know what yarn even really is. I'm like, I have a fucking... we have a company and like a business, and she's listened to 0 seconds of it, not even an episode.
Amazing.
So if I'm going to captain Kevin this week, I'm not going to talk to her. I'm just not going to talk to her for the rest of the week.
Okay. So, but that's who you're on right now, Kev?
That's who I'm on right now. Yeah.
Against your favorite team in the league, Fulham.
Yeah.
You might have to extend your Never Cap versus Palace to Never Cap versus Palace or Fulham, and just have the whites.
Then I'm just like, never get above a 2 million overall rank, because I'm taking soon enough. That's going to change to West Brom because I like Village. Like, that's a slippery slope.
Yeah,
right, what are you looking at?
I have $1 trillion in the bank, 4-7, because I did Kane to Banff. So Kilman is no longer nailed, which is cool.
Well, he was never nailed. I don't know where this no longer.
Well, at what point does one become nailed? He started, 6 in a row, played 90? It's a lot of games.
7. You need 7.
Is 7 seven's the mountain? Well, he was never nailed then, if that's the case. Okay, well, Kilman fucked me. How about if I word it like that? Kilman killed men. So I probably need to get another defender, which is probably should be Chilwell, but I can't stop looking at like Leeds, Everton, and being like, I don't really see a clean. So that just keeps sticking out of my head. And then I'm also considering James. I can do James and Dunn out for like Mo and a 4-4 defender, like someone like Chaz Taylor. I could also get Chilwell, who's clearly like the standout defensive pick, or a City guy even. And then, not get Mo. I could get Jota. So there's actually a lot of options, and I'm just going to fucking wait. I probably price rises will fuck me, but I don't care. I'm just going to wait for Champs League and shit. So I'm on hold until Friday My Life pod. And then captaincy, I'm between Werner and Jack. I think they're both really good caps this week.
Not Kevin.
Haven't even looked at them.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, rewind the fucking tape, and you'll hear us be like, that was not a 5-0 against Burnley. That was like a weird fluke game with Pisscock Farrell in goal and just errors and weird shit. And Fulham are pretty organized and good and have midfielders and stuff. And, and I'm like, out of those 3 matches, which do I see most likely for my guy to score 20 points? But that Fulham, I think, is by far the least.
See, I think the difference is that Pep and Parker, not fair. Like, that's violence. Yeah. I think that's the difference to me. Yeah. That's going to be the thing. That's going to be the unbinding of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and you might be right, but I just see home Leeds and home Newcastle as number 1 and number 2 or 3 in best fixtures. All right. And I see my attackers and goal scorers, and I'm like, Jesus, those are hauls, but figure it out in the future.
So, I mean, I'm also not looking at like taking a minus between 4 and 12. I mean, I don't know. I'm at 3. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So I
might hit 2. I might double move 2.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also looking at many different things because I still have this Brewster issue.
Man, he really should have scored.
Yeah.
I watched Match of the Day. He really fucking should have scored.
Yeah. He just kind of fluffed that one at the end.
And he didn't start.
He just didn't. Yeah, and he didn't start, which is bad. Wilder's got to start, with whatever. But I'm looking at Welbs.
There's also Jesus. I mean,
that would be Son. I would have to get rid of Son.
Right.
Which I don't love.
I don't love, but I also don't hate. And if you got Jesus,
I could get Rafinha.
Ooh.
So I could do that.
Rafinha,
Son
Jesus.
I could do
Jesus,
Son and
maybe.
Yeah, I could. Well, no, I would still. Oh, well, I would want to see what happens in the week, but I could do Son and Keenan to those two, and then put Brewster in his rightful spot first on the bench.
It's pretty fucking good.
It seems like I keep looking at Son, turning him into two players because he's. I don't know, but Arsenal. I mean, this could be like Spurs 4, Arsenal 0.
That would not be surprising.
So that's the other thing. I want the Jack game to just be like canceled, so I could just get rid of Jack or something. I don't know.
I love Jack. I love owning Jack.
I don't want to.
I mean, what people are saying is that it's possible that Newcastle will have to run out like a literal youth team of just like the entire Longstaff family makes up the 11. And then Captain Jack is just like, oh my God, Captain Jack.
Yeah, I still wouldn't do it, but
I'm very, very unhappy that that's a Friday match because I hate Friday matches. B, she hit me. And C, it's just fucking, that decides my fucking week if I Captain Jack and I have Triple Villa already.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to have a big My Life pod as usual on Thursday.
Yeah. Let me slap the one anus that is slap the one new sign up this week, Nick Dennis Cook. Good job by you. Let me slap that. Any last words, bro?
No, that's it.
Check us out at FMLPL.com. Follow us on Twitter at FMLPL. Support us, patreon.com/FMLPL. Subscribe, rate, review. Cheers.